Hello.
Hi,
Welcome to our
everyone.
channel.
Welcome to our channel.
Two Peas in a Crime Pod.
Two Peas in a Crime Pod.
Episode number...
Trey. Here in the crime case place.
Oh, I love it.
With my edamame, Kelly.
You know, that's what I was going to call our channel, the case place.
Crime case place. It still fits.
She came up with the Two Peas in a Crime Pod, which I like better.
Yeah, I'm full of dad jokes. One of my many talents.
Hi,
Mom.
Muffin.
Cheers, Mom.
Cheers.
Episode 3. Huh?
Episode 3. We need a little
Beverage. Need to hydrate.
beverage. We need to hydrate.
How are you?
I'm very good. I'm looking forward to this episode. It's a little darker than the last one.
Okay.
How are you?
Living the dream. I'm here with you, so I'm good.
Tell me about your shirt.
This is my Red Hot Chili Peppers shirt. Red Hot Chili Peppers is my favorite band. I have a Red Hot Chili Peppers tattoo on my foot, the insignia and lyrics. All-time fave. So yeah, I got this at the last concert that I went to. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, my stepdaughter's birth mom, she and I went to the show together with her sister. I got us all tickets and we all went, and Sarah bought me the shirt.
Oh, that was nice.
This is a gift from Aubrey's egg mommy.
Aww.
We're a blended family.
That's her ex-husband's ex-wife.
Yes.
So they became friends.
I got rid of him and I kept her.
Yeah.
It's weird how things work out. Hit me up 15 years ago and asked me if that's where I saw things going, and it would have been a no. Firm no. But here we are, and it's good this way. So it's for the kids. It's about the kids.
It's all about the kids.
It's all about the Benjamins.
You know I wanted to say that
I
so
knew
bad.
you wanted to.
I try to be funny and I'm not.
She is too. She's funny.
only because I'm dumb.
You get in your
It's
head.
funny in the wrong way.
No, you're funny. You are funny. You act like I got all my humor from Dad, and that's not true. I get my silliness from you. Dad's not silly. He's
That's
a
true.
smart ass.
He's a smart ass.
He's not silly though.
I'm
That's
silly.
you. You're my silly goof. I got the silly goof from you.
Oh, that warms my heart.
So let's talk about murder. What's up?
Oh boy, I got a case for you today. This one's not going to be easy. Warning.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Viewer discretion is advised. If you're going to be triggered by child kidnapping, SA, murder, skip this one. It's going to be rough.
Okay.
This was a big case.
Okay.
Big case. You might have heard of it. Klaas. Klaas.
Off the rip? No.
Well, I mean, it happened in '93.
Names blend.
Which
sometimes I won't know until you start telling case details.
Okay.
And then I'll be like, oh, this is
it's ringing a bell.
But so far,
it's a pretty high profile case because of what it did.
Okay.
For the community. But shall we begin? Did we thank our...
I strapped in.
Did we thank our
viewers? That was me putting my buckle on.
Oh, I love it.
I put my buckle on, cinch, tightened, ready to go.
Okay.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, and... Did you say subscribe?
Like and subscribe.
Talk about your hat.
Harvey, my son made this because he wants to be a YouTuber, and so I stole it. I told him that I would give him all of the credit for this. It says YouTube, like and subscribe. Subscribe, y'all. So yeah, so there's my shout out to my son Harvey.
I love it. He's precious.
He is. It's too sweet for
He's my Butchie. That's what I call him.
She calls him that, not me.
She doesn't use any of my nicknames.
No, you call me Muffin, and I don't hate that. But
Do you hate Tulip?
I don't hate Tulip for Lindsay. I like Tulip. I don't like that you call Christopher Squirrel or whatever you call him.
Chipmunk?
Chipmunk.
It's not Chipmunk, it's the Chipmunk. I never just go, hey, Chipmunk. I say, I gotta call the Chipmunk. Or, we gotta go pick up the Chipmunk.
That's something that Clay gets from you. Phrasing things uniquely.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He does stuff like... him and Marissa have their little mannerisms, and he totally got that from you.
Do you know what else he got from me, which Marissa told me when we were on vacation that one time when we all stayed in the cabin? Because she heard me do it.
No, what?
She heard me say, Nova, you want your Hungry Bear food? You need your firsty drink?
Oh, firsty drink. Oh yeah, Clay's all about a firsty drink. Yeah, and Clay says, and you have to know my brother. First of all, I call Clay the vanilla gorilla because he is like 6'3", like defensive lineman. He's just huge. He's just a big guy, and soft spoken as hell, but just a big presence.
He's like, a gentle giant.
You would just not want to fuck with him when you saw him. But you
don't want to mess with him.
Mostly just very gentle and mild. But anyways, he says, coming out of this big vanilla gorilla mouth, he says things like, "Nova, are you ready for Betty? Ready for Betty? Ready for Betty, pup?" And these little things that he says. And then his cat, Joan, he calls Joan like this. Joan! Joni Roni! I can't do it. I'm not giving it justice.
Tell him what he named the other cat.
One of them is Whittle Whittles.
Whittle Whittles.
Whittle Whittles. Or no, he said, because I recently made them a
Whittle
sign.
Whittles.
With all of their family names, and he said, Courtney, quite honestly, it should say Whittle Baby Kitten, because that's what her name is, Whittle Baby Kitten. And I just was like, Clay, I couldn't make a Whittle Baby Kitten and then everybody else's name on this Scrabble thing. But anyways, yeah, he has all these mannerisms, and he got that from you for sure. That's a you thing.
Again, touches my heart.
Yeah.
I love it.
So anyways, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
We go so far off on tangents. It's
I know.
ridiculous. We side quest. We love a side quest. Love a side quest.
Shall we begin?
Probably.
Okay.
Rope them back in with the murder.
All right. On the night of October 1st in 1993.
So I was almost 3.
Yep.
Setting the scene. Okay.
It's a quiet street in her Petaluma, California neighborhood. 12-year-old Polly Hannah Klaas vanished from her own bedroom during a slumber party with 2 of her best friends.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
No. Odd. During a slumber party. Okay.
During a slumber party.
Okay.
All right. So that's the setting. Let's give Polly some identity.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Polly a little bit because she was more than just a murder victim.
Absolutely.
Okay, Polly Klaas. She was born on January 3rd in 1981. She's just a little younger than my brother.
Okay.
He was born in 80.
Okay.
So,
she's Carrie's age, my stepmom. Same time-ish.
Okay, yep. Dad's name was Mark Klaas and mother's name is Eve Nickel. And they divorced when she was very young, but they remained friendly, kind of like me and your dad.
Blended.
Yeah.
Love it.
They when it came to raising her, they were on board with each other.
Love to see it.
Didn't fight.
Absolutely.
And they both maintained active roles in her life. Okay. She had a very good upbringing. She lived permanently with mom, and she visited dad on the weekends. And Eve worked full time and was able to provide a very stable, structured environment for her.
Okay.
Let's see. She had a younger half sister, and she had close relationships with grandparents and family friends. Pretty much everybody loved Polly. She was one of those kids that little kids loved, adults loved. She just had that kind of a well-rounded personality, related to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the neighborhood they lived in Petaluma, California, was a quiet middle-class town. It's in Sonoma County, and it was considered a safe, family-friendly suburban community.
Okay.
So typical suburbia. We've got football games on Friday, big supporters,
Mm-hmm.
The kids walk to school
so
without
other
parents.
Than the weather, it's a lot like here.
Yes.
Okay.
The neighbors knew each other, borrowed a couple of sugar. They had sleepovers and backyard play with their friends. Violent crime was very rare. Rode their bikes without supervision.
Oh, I miss 90s play. My kids don't get it. My kids don't have what I had.
They
what
don't.
You had.
Especially don't have what I had.
No, you had a little too much. You had a fucking free for all.
I did.
I had that perfect, safe. My parents knew where I was. I had a
You
perimeter.
have the cute little town, the cute little street.
But
that,
I did ride my bike and I
Yeah.
did go outside.
The kids
I
can't.
miss 90s play.
I mean, because you live on a busy street. And there were no sidewalks.
I don't know. It would have to be a pretty.
You'd be afraid in this day and age.
I think I helicopter probably, but.
I understand. I went to a counselor about Christopher because I was afraid to let him out of my sight.
Yeah, no, I
when
feel
he was
that
12,
and
I was
that's-
afraid to let him out of my sight.
And you have to. You
And I
have
want
to
you
let
to
kids explore and
You have to.
and find their own reasoning and let them come to situations where they navigate it on their own before you
They
send them
had
into
to
the
teach
world.
me how to feel okay with letting him go outside
But it
to
is
play.
a scary feeling. And you're right, my neighborhood is pretty safe, but
You live a block away from the police station.
I do. But I also live one block through the woods from that is a hotel
Rent
where
by the week.
predators.
Yeah, rent by the week hotel that we've been trying to get out of this community for a long time.
Yeah. And so do my kids at their ages of 8 and 11, are they aware that we don't trust that hotel? And yeah, probably. And I don't know, maybe that's paranoid momming, but I'm like, yeah, like, because they want to walk places by themselves. Their friends are allowed to. And I'm like, listen, guys, this is why I don't let you, because not far from that place that you could walk to that's safe is a place that's not safe. And those unsafe people are also walking to that location to buy candy bars too, just like you. And
That's right.
so is it safe? Yeah, in my yard where I have cameras. But
It's just a little questionable.
I think they need to be a little older, like their friends that live across the main road that ride their bikes over.
Yeah.
Never in a million years. And I'm not judging their parents. And obviously, look, they keep doing it and they're fine. And
Well,
that should
first of
tell
all,
me.
you were raised by me.
So I'm,
Hyper vigilant.
and I feel like I try not to try to rein that in.
Suffered a bad childhood. Don't want my kids to ever suffer. Overprotected.
So we'll just ground them to their room, because if they're in their room, they're safe. And I grew up with that, and I don't want to do that to my kids. I recognize why you did it, and I'm not mad at you. But I know that my kids need
I've been through a lot of counseling to get her to the point where she can say that.
I recognize that my kids need a little bit more rope than I had. There's a happy medium there, and I still don't think I'm giving them enough, probably. But
I would say no, but I say that you're getting close.
I'm trying.
From what I learned from my counselor, I would say you could probably give at least Lindsay a little more rope.
I
Harvey's good right where he's at.
Yeah, it's appropriate for him. But I
But
train them
Lindsay
together
could
because
have-
together they're a team. And I tell them don't go anywhere by yourself. And when they're together, I know they have each other's six, you know? Like,
My apartment complex is not the greatest in our community. It's the cheapest. So we get a lot of low income, some substance selling and buying, police
It's
in the
rough.
neighborhood once in a while. But nice neighbors. I love my neighbor. She lives right next door to me. She's wonderful.
yeah, and you have other families in here. Everybody's doing their best. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound so judgmental like a total stuck-up bitch. But
It's just you gotta.
when you're like, oh yeah, I let the kids play outside while they were at my
She
house,
freaks
I'm like,
out.
no, the fuck you did not.
Yeah, she freaks out. So now what I do is I sit outside, and then they're allowed to go over to the area where the kids are playing football, or across my driveway where there's like a little wooded area.
That's all I
They
ask.
love to run around in the woods and chase each other and pretend that a killer is chasing them, and
Yeah.
fun games. I mean, they had a blast when I said the killer clowns are coming around the corner. They're gonna get ya.
Oh, they love it.
They did.
They're kids.
But yeah,
They'll never have the child.
they're not
that I
allowed
have.
out visit without parental supervision.
I let them out at my house without parental. They go outside
Well,
without me.
I meant over here.
Oh yeah, no,
I meant
absolutely.
over here.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
But all of that to say, there's nothing like growing up in the '90s. What a time it
This
was.
neighborhood,
See our side quests.
children ride bicycles after school. So, Polly Klaas was, by all accounts, the embodiment of that small town innocence. That's her.
Yeah.
Home life. She lived in a small, cozy home. It's a residential neighborhood. We already talked about that. Often filled with friends visiting, and often having sleepovers.
Love it.
So, her bedroom, this is where the abduction occurred, was decorated with theater posters. She had bright colors. She had her childhood artwork that she did, and it is reported that her favorite color was lavender.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
that's an unusual color, I think,
yeah.
for somebody to just be their favorite color.
Lindsay says her favorite color is teal.
Yes, teal. Another unusual.
Yeah, so I get it. Like a little bit like, I don't just like purple. I like lavender.
I like lavender.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah. So her routines, her daily life included, she had a lot of after school activities. She would do homework at the kitchen table, frequent visits with friends. And this is interesting. She wanted to be in the theater, so she was in theater at school, and she did a lot of rehearsals.
Oh, great. Okay.
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, a little artsy girl.
Yeah, very artsy. And then weekends with her dad.
Okay.
Where, he was always in support of all of her activities. She was known to be responsible and mature for her age, which is what makes her well-rounded.
Yeah.
That's why adults...
When you said adults and kids, yeah.
Usually that's an old soul.
Yeah.
Somebody that's mature, they can play with kids, but they can also talk and have a conversation with an adult.
Oh, the eldest daughter.
So she went to Petaluma's old Adobe school. And it's a school known to have strong parental involvement. So that's the kind of community they were in. Lots of PTA going on, which stands for
Parent-Teacher
Association.
That's or you have a PTO, Parent-Teacher Organization. Yeah.
It was A in my day.
It was O in my day.
Okay.
So it switched over. Yeah.
Okay.
What's the difference? I don't know.
It's an organization now.
We're organized.
All
We're
right.
not just associated loosely.
Well, while she was there, she was a good student, described as bright, creative, curious. Teachers remembered her that she was polite and friendly. She worked well with her classmates. She definitely participated heavily in reading and writing activities. I love a girl that loves to read and write.
I know you do.
I do. You did used to love to read. What is it? You just don't have time now, or you don't care
I
anymore?
never loved to read. I loved when you read to me.
You loved when I
love
read
being
to
read
you.
to. You could read me anything, and I will sit and listen intently. I hate reading myself because when I have to focus on the words, I don't retain anything.
Oh, I didn't know that was
So
what
I
it
have
was.
to, I'll read a whole paragraph, and it's just like I'm trying to read each word, and then I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck I actually just said. Now I have to read it again.
Okay.
So it's gotten better as I get older. That's kind of gone away as I got older, but it really turned me off when I was younger.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Makes sense.
But I am not a reader. It has to grip me, or I'm gonna get bored. I don't know.
I've just been a reader since
I've always wanted to be a
I was
reader.
3. I used to read a book, but not because I could read it, but because I had memorized what I'd been read about it,
Yeah.
and I could read the whole book through. Like they were the Mickey Mouse books and
Yes.
the Disney books. Yeah. But she loved reading and writing activities, and she also loved group projects and hands-on assignments. So, like I said, well-rounded.
Yeah.
Just, a great girl. Who wouldn't love that?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't love her?
Just doing her best out there.
Her social life. She was extremely social, which you can almost guess.
Yeah.
She had a lot of friends. So, not just like 1 or 2. She was friends with everybody. Known for her kindness, her empathy, and an outgoing spirit. All of this at 12.
I was gonna say, just
What
what a
a
spirit.
amazing person,
Yeah.
She was considered a peacemaker among classmates.
Oh, I just feel like you're
I just love her
describing.
more and more
I
and
just feel like
more.
you're describing my daughter. That's how I'm relating to her right now. It sounds like you're describing my
I
Lexi.
could be.
That's everything you're
I
saying.
really
just
could
hits
be.
so close to her. So I'm envisioning her just bubbly and happy and creative and the peacemaker thing. Oh Lord, we can
In
all
the
just get along.
theater, yeah.
Let's just get along and let's play and
Yeah,
I can see it.
I can too.
Yeah.
Well, her 2 best friends were with her on the night she was abducted. Let's see. She acted in school plays. She attended the community theater, and she dreamed of becoming a performer one day. She was a creative drawer, interested in writing, and fond of animals and nature. I mean, wow, what a person.
Yeah.
What a person.
Yeah.
That we are ended up missing out on.
Yeah.
Over some.
How much?
Wait till you hear about this scumbag.
How much potential cut short? Right.
Oh, Polly was beloved by teachers, students, and other adults. Okay, so everything about Polly's upbringing reflected the classic early 90s Northern California childhood. She had the safe neighborhood, supportive family, strong school community, close friends, involvement in the arts, predictable routines.
It sounds, you could broaden that to say it sounds like the early 90s middle class America.
You're right.
Family.
Yes.
Because we're nothing like, California's nothing like Ohio, and I can absolutely relate to what you're saying. I think it's that middle class niche, like.
You're totally right. That was my next statement. That's why people nationwide felt a shattered sense of safety.
Yeah.
We're so in tune.
Yeah.
But it's because everybody related to her and was like, wait a minute, if that could happen in that perfect environment and community, it could happen to anyone.
No, we're safe. Like I keep saying, that you got to get over your sense of control because we're not in control.
That's true. So October 1st of 1993, Polly invited 2 friends over for this slumber party. And they planned to stay up all night. You know how girls do.
Oh, yeah.
We're staying up all night. They listen to music.
No sleep till. Down.
Right.
Mom says,
Sing
shut
along.
the hell up and go to bed.
Being silly. It's funny because the mom did have to tell them to be quiet.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were, getting a little rowdy.
I can just remember Maria's mom coming downstairs and we'd be like, fuck, she's coming. And we'd act like she's asleep and she'd be like, I know you're not sleeping. Please go to sleep. I wish you would shut the fuck up. Yeah. Oh, I remember those days fondly.
That's funny.
You didn't do that. You were the cool mom. You really gave us the space to say, this is your one night. Make noise. I'm sure you weren't getting sleep while we were being rowdy. And
I was just happy you were all in the house.
Yeah,
Let you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just be in the house.
And we were playing hide and go seek and doing the dumbest shit, but we were goofy and giggling and loud, and you just let us be. Like,
there was a period where you got really creative with the video camera. Do you remember that? Doing acts and skits and
yes, because my cousin lived in Florida and we would send her the videotape, so it was kind of like a video
that's
diary.
Right. That's right. Yes.
And I would show her around the neighborhood and stuff, and we would do yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I still have those. Well, it was close to Halloween, so they were, trying out Halloween costumes.
It was October, right, okay.
And lots of school gossiping, that kind of thing.
Oh, of course. 12 years old.
Yes.
Ugh, the drama.
Typical preteen activities. So I believe the mom checked on them around 9:30, according to reports, and then she went in to go to sleep.
Okay.
And then the girls, it was 10:30, and this man entered the home through this unlocked window in Polly's bedroom. Again, it should be safe. You shouldn't have to lock your window.
Right. We talk about victim blaming and that we don't want to. And yeah, no, it's my
not
house.
Victim blaming.
Don't come. I don't have to. Why do I have to lock my window? I can leave it wide open.
You should be able to.
Don't fucking come in my yard. Don't come in my house.
Evil people will take advantage.
Yeah.
That's why you got to be careful.
It's so upsetting.
We stress. Lock your doors. Lock your windows. We just stress it.
Yeah.
So he was armed with a knife. He was wearing a makeshift disguise, and I couldn't really get anything on what this disguise was. Somebody had posted maybe a bandana or like a face mask, but the girls saw his face, so either he took it off or...
You're climbing through a window, shit's gonna unsettle.
Something happened.
Yeah.
So
there was 2 eyewitnesses.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he startled the 3 girls, of course. They're terrified.
Yeah.
And he immediately started whispering to them, don't be afraid. I just want money. I promise I'm not going to hurt you. While he's doing that, he had brought along a bag of the strips that he had torn from like a bed sheet. And he had torn strips to bind them with. So he brought that along. And just remember that he brought that along.
Right. obviously, what were you? You must have been planning on tying something, or you wouldn't need
Exactly.
strips of material.
That's what I think. So, yeah.
Were you gonna make a tourniquet because you were climbing through a window?
Yeah, obviously that was the plan. He bound 2 of the girls with strips of cloth torn from bedding. Oh, I just said that. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm reading from my script, and I got to talking to you.
Well,
and
it's
I
because
forgot.
we keep, doing our asides. You gotta move your thumb along so you know where you left off.
One of the
It's
things
because I interrupt her constantly. That's
which
why
is
she
what
can't.
you're here for. You're here for the levity, the questions. You keep it going. I don't have any of that ability. I just have
That's
to
not true.
have my script.
It's
All
usually
right.
Script Kel.
So he was also asking, whose house is this? Which one of you lives here? And when he found out it was Polly, he had tied her up as well. He untied her. He cut her loose with his knife. And he led her out of the room. But meanwhile, he also was asking her, or telling her, I just want money. Where can I find money? And like trying to keep the girls to shut up.
Okay, so he untied her so that she could lead him to money or jewelry or something.
Which she said, we have money hidden in this jewelry box.
Okay.
And he didn't go for it. He just took her out of the house. So that's when the girls kind of realized he's not really here for money.
Okay, so before you divulge more, here's my thought.
Okay.
A random walking down the street, climb through a window, doesn't seem to fit. Because then you really just, as soon as you look through and saw a bunch of kids, you'd be like, fuck, if you were just trying to rob the place, Because the kids are going to scream and immediately make a noise. So, and you brought shit to tie people up with.
And a knife.
And a knife. So, it's the thing you said about, which I'm guessing came from eyewitness testimony when he said, whose house is this?
Yeah, that came from the girls.
That makes me feel like it's a personal hit of some sort. Like he broke in, like he knew it was a mom and a daughter, and he broke in for the daughter. But then he gets there and it's a sleepover, and he's like, well, fuck, you're all 3 12-year-olds. Which one of you, and it's dark, I'm assuming, which one of you's Polly? Oh, it's you. And then he's saying anything to keep them quiet. And so she's like, well, I'll lead you to the money because she's trying to be smart. And then he takes her out, but it really was never about that. He just wanted to know which one was Polly and get her out of the house. So I'm thinking it had to be
That's good deducing.
somewhat personal. Somebody who knew the family is my immediate thought. Now, I could be way off base. I obviously have to hear more. But that's my immediate gut reaction.
Well, I mean, just to reiterate or comment on what you've said, that could be the case and it just never came out. It's a good point. Why else did he? I was thinking, this is what I was thinking when I found out he was trying to find out who lived there. I thought he was just saying that as part of the ruse to keep everybody quiet, to pretend, I'm just looking for money. I need to know who lives here so they can tell me where the money is.
And if he had actually stolen money, then I would completely, that would make sense. If he was like, if y'all shut up, which one of you knows where the money's at? And
But
then
that's
they took
why-
him to the money.
So that's why I think it was just part of a ruse to
Yes.
keep them from
Yeah.
being noisy.
Because he didn't.
Because he said, I
Yeah.
won't hurt you if you just be quiet. I need to know who lives here.
Yeah.
So I can know where I can find the money.
Yeah.
So he told them that when he left, he told the girls, count to 1,000 and I'll have her back by the time you're done counting to 1,000.
He never planned on coming back.
Right. All right. So the 2 girls, as soon as they could, scrambled to alert Polly's mother. And they were still bound. They had to, yeah.
Ugh, scooch. Like, ugh.
Yeah. So the police, the Petaluma police arrived within minutes. It was an immediate response. And the initial responding officer issued the highest level of urgency. So he was taking it very serious. There was no, you gotta wait 24 hours.
Well, no, he had 2 eyewitnesses that were saying this girl didn't run away. The dude climbed through the fucking window. So, I mean, thank God the girls were bound and, so the police
There wasn't a
don't think,
runaway.
well, she'll come back.
Right. So they immediately notified local law enforcement FBI child abduction teams, the county sheriffs, and the California Highway Patrol.
DEFCON
They
5,
got
all of it.
everybody
Yeah.
to know this child has been taken. Be on the lookout, because
Okay.
they had, you know, a description of it, which we'll go into
So at
later.
this part, he couldn't have gotten too far if it was a pretty quick response. And
I mean, I don't know how long it took them to get.
well,
to
local authorities at least
Polly's
were
mom.
on tune, let alone.
They had to count to 1,000, and then they had to get being bound. They had to get to her mom's, you know, bedroom, and
Right, maybe.
I don't know
an
how
hour
long
at
it
most.
took.
Right, okay.
But all these people canvassed the neighborhood. They questioned every single neighbor. Amazingly, several neighbors saw a man in the neighborhood that they had never seen before.
Out of place. Okay, good.
They even questioned school employees, teachers, if anybody had been hanging around at the school that might have, you know, had their eye on Polly.
Yeah.
So they've really investigated the hell out of this case. They did such a superb job. I'm amazed. Because you hear oftentimes little mistakes,
Well,
little
where
things
was
overlooked.
the dad, or where was the, like, which I'm still sure that they probably
They did
looked into
investigate
him.
the
Of course
dad.
they did, but then
They found him cleared almost immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they get hung up in the wrong places, is what I mean to say.
Yes. Yes. That's what I meant to. Polly's friends. Okay. First of all, there were only 18 bags of evidence. The investigator who was collecting the evidence in charge of
Like the crime scene evidence.
the case, yeah, he was so disappointed. He just looked at the evidence and said, "This isn't much evidence.
Not enough.
We need more."
If he
So
had
he just
gloves
told him-
on or something, right? Like,
He just said, "Take the rug." There was no visible evidence on it, but he was just like, and they were like, "Why?" And he was like, "We just need more evidence. Just take the rug." So, they ended up taking the carpet. So, their main evidence that they found, they did find a palm print, but at that time they didn't have databases with palm prints in them.
right?
But it would come in handy if they found a suspect.
Okay,
And they had the leftover strips of cloth.
okay, that's also helpful.
It was very helpful. It turned out to be key.
Okay,
So Polly's friends were taken to this. They had hired this amazing sketch artist who was great at getting people to relax enough to remember as many details as
it's
they could.
possible.
And he was able to make this sketch. So what they here's what they said about him: white male, approximately 30 to 40, messy, unkempt hair, mustache, rough, scruffy facial appearance, and medium to large build, not thin but not obese.
Okay,
Appeared strong enough to control them with a knife. Dark, nondescript clothing. Carried a bag or bundle with him. And they said his voice was deep or gruff. They had a lot of information. This sketch artist got a lot out of these young girls. They're young, they're scared, they've had this horrible
right.
thing happen right in front of them, and they're able to give this.
Really present though.
Yeah. I'm amazed at their, what would you call it, fortitude?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Resilience, bravery.
Resilience,
Yeah.
yes. His voice was deep or gruff.
Yeah, they obviously didn't just close their eyes and cower down. Like, they obviously
paid
even
attention.
for a second
They paid
imprinted.
attention.
Yeah.
He whispered or
And
spoke.
had they closed their eyes and powered down,
There wouldn't be
I'm not
this.
passing judgment. I'm just saying that's what some people go into, and they
I
God
would have.
they didn't. Yeah,
I would have been terrified.
yeah.
You know. They said his speech was controlled, not frantic. He repeatedly said, "I'm not going to hurt you." He acted like he was only there for money. This is what they said. He chose Polly specifically, and he moved calmly and appeared methodical, not rushed. So let's move to what happened.
Unless he said, "Show me where the money is," as a way to separate the one girl, thinking that that would keep people from screaming. Unless he was
That's what I think.
unless he was present enough to play that ruse so well. But doesn't that show an amount of calculation
That's what I think.
almost
I think the whole thing was calculated.
but calculated to a point of like not his first time almost. Like,
Oh, that's a good point.
the first
And
time
it
you break into a
wasn't.
house and there's 3 fucking young girls that you, and you're thinking you could
Once you
overpower
hear
them, but
more,
yeah,
it probably wasn't the first time this happened.
yeah, it just seemed, if everything they're saying is true, which I believe it to be, it seemed like he was way too
Good
calm
deduction. Good deduction.
to come up with that on the fly. Like, fuck, how do I keep
Yes.
3 teenage girls quiet, which is almost impossible to do, right?
Yes.
Like, all I want is the money. Which one of you lives here? You could show me where the money is.
He knew.
That's a kind of a smart ruse in the moment.
I agree. Yeah.
Unless
I think you are right 100%
unless he had
on
seen, unless
point.
he's casing, he saw 3 girls in and he had time outside to think, how the fuck am I going to separate one? But still, in the like, yeah, it's just, all right, continue. I'm trying to think
brainstorm.
through it.
Yeah, makes sense. You've got that big old forehead full of that brain.
It ain't empty behind here, folks. That's 5 inches of brain back there, frontal lobe.
So Polly's case exploded into national attention almost instantly, and this is what was different about her case. So this was in the 90s. This is when kidnappings were started to be reported, because you didn't hear about it in the 70s.
I'm trying to remember, when did Amber Alerts come out?
I believe that was the 80s, or maybe 1990.
I watched the documentary on that case and when they come out, but I can't remember when that became a thing.
The 80s, it started to get a little bit more public aware of all crimes, not just kidnappings, but serial killers and everything.
Yeah,
was starting to be more publicized. So yeah, every major network, everyone carried this story. Oprah Winfrey and other hosts like her dedicated airtime to this. There were celebrities,
Can
including
I ask her ethnicity?
white.
Polly's.
White. Celebrities included Winona Ryder publicly offered support.
Wow.
So that's a first.
Yeah.
And there were 1.8 million flyers distributed nationwide through volunteers, schools, and supermarkets.
Wow.
So there was all of this, like I said, the public thought it was an outrage. They were just like, how could this happen? We are scared. We are not letting this happen.
Right.
This is not going to happen anymore, because
It hit
if
everyone.
it does,
Tom.
we're all going to be
It
after
hit
you
the majority.
till we
Yeah.
find you, you know? So this was the first missing child case to reach America through 24-hour news networks. It had round-the-clock coverage. And basically, it's described as a volunteer army, an army of volunteers. Over 4,000 volunteers mobilized in the first days alone.
Holy shit, that's a big turnout.
You don't even hear of that many these days.
Yeah.
They combed parks, highways, creeks, and fields looking for her. They had search centers with phone banks, not just like one, but phone banks, fax machines, mapping teams, canvassing squads, child finding experts.
That tells me this guy.
They did
had a
everything
home,
they could.
He had a place that was secure and unassuming, and she was concealed, is the vibe I'm getting. Again, I don't know. That's my guess, is that he had a house and she was somewhere. If you had that many people canvassing that quickly, she wasn't in the woods, obviously, then. She wasn't.
I'll be honest with you. He just got lucky.
Really?
Yeah. He just got lucky. They just didn't look in the right place. Let's continue.
All right, continue. I like to guess. I like to be a guesser.
The FBI said the community cooperation was unprecedented. Weeks went by with no sightings. The optimism that they all had with all of this press and volunteers, it just faded. You know, thousands continue to show up, but by this time they're just starting to lose hope.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the missed opportunity. And don't you hate it when that happens?
Yes.
9:30 p.m. traffic stop. That can't be right. That has to be a typo, because
Yeah, they went to bed at 10:30.
they didn't go to bed.
Well, that's
he
when
just
the
came in at
abduction
10:30. that's got to be a typo, but there was a traffic stop.
Okay.
It's probably 11:30 is when the traffic stop happened.
After? You're kidding
It was
me.
after the kidnapping. Happens to be one of the most painful details of the case for everyone involved. The police, the children, the parents.
Well, we're back. We took a small break because the candle was
Making me choke and gag and stuffing
giving
my
Mom
nose
allergies. And
up. We're talking about the missed opportunity.
there's been a set change. Don't be alarmed. Continuity change. Go ahead, Mom. Okay, so we got up and I almost asked her about the case off camera because I was like, wait, what happened next? Okay, so a traffic stop happened post abduction, and I'm guessing they let him go.
It says, yeah, you're right. It says just hours after Polly's kidnapping. So hours. So it might have been 11:30, 12:30, right around that window.
Okay.
A sheriff deputy was called about a man whose car was stuck in a ditch near Petaluma, and it was on private property. So basically this guy, okay, here's what happened. Basically, there was this guy. This woman is driving out of the driveway.
I don't know why I feel like laughing. Like, this asshole, like, tries to hide
I
someone
know.
out of there and ends up in someone's yard.
He's just an idiot. Dumb luck.
Fucking dumbass.
He has so much dumb luck that I
It's
hate
infuriating.
him. Oh, he is disgusting. But
He was like, skirt, skirt. Into
the
a yard.
woman was like, kind of slowed down, and he was out of his car, and he came over and accosted her and was like, "You need to get out of your car and help me get this car out of the ditch." And
The
she's
fuck I
like
do?
rolling the window up, you know. He's like, "No,
That's not the way to ask for help,
you need to help me. I got to get this car out of the ditch." And he was like really frantic.
Well,
And,
yeah, there was a kid in the trunk.
um,
Asshole.
she immediately calls her friend and says, "Hey, there's this dude in your driveway. His car's in a ditch and he's acting really weird." So the friend and her son, I think it was her son, get a baseball bat and drive down. I'm telling you, ladies, just don't. Unless you have a loaded weapon, just don't. If there's a big, scary man on your property, just call the police. Don't take a baseball bat and think you're going to do anything.
I would take a baseball bat and think I was going to do something.
Oh,
and then
my
I
God.
would. But Mom's right. That's stupid. Again,
She comes down and he's like, "Can you help me get out of the ditch?" And she's like, "No, I can help the police come and get you." And that's what she did. She ended up calling the police. So the police show up. And so the police officer describes it like this. The man's name is Richard Allen Davis. He's
Dick.
very sweaty, very disheveled. Is that
disheveled.
disheveled? He has a bag containing torn cloth strips on him.
You said disheveled. I'm sorry.
Disheveled. That's how I've always said it too.
It's very disheveled. That sounds like a fucking perfume that I would want to wear. Disheveled by Gucci.
I love your levity. I love it.
He was a disheveled man. That makes him sound not like he is. The opposite. Okay, I'm so sorry.
He
I'm
was
gonna
very
make fun of you every time
disheveled.
you say
Is it
something wrong.
disheveled?
Disheveled.
Okay. He had an open container of alcohol on his breath. He seemed a little drunk, and he had rope. But because he had no outstanding warrants, the deputy issued a mild citation and allowed him to leave. Go on, drunkard.
What's this rope for? I might hang myself later. I don't know. Oh, okay. Sounds legit.
That's the dumbest part of this whole story, because that one thing.
But, Mom, okay, I'm totally being a devil's advocate right now.
Go ahead.
Totally.
Let's hear it.
But in society, I have been pulled over, and I have had things in my car that might look weird. The other day, because I left my brother's, who had just moved, and I brought him a series of tools that I didn't know if he would have, knowing that when you move shit, you have to take legs off stuff or this or that or whatever. And then as a smartass, I brought a handsaw because my brother never has tools, and I was like, "Do you want my handsaw since you don't have any tools?" Okay, but all I'm driving around in my car with is a fucking handsaw on the passenger seat. And I
your
get
speed, like Speed Racer, you're likely to get pulled over.
allegedly prove that in the court of law. Actually, State Farm was just like, your safe driving thing hasn't been communicating for a month now. And
I wonder why.
oh, thank God, because I've been late a few times. I wasn't going to get any safe driving points from you anyways. But anyways, in this country, if I get pulled over, I don't have any priors either, and I don't want to be held or treated like a criminal because I have a handsaw on my seat. Now.
Hey, y'all. It's intermission. What does intermission mean for us?
Oh my God.
Well, what it means is that someone's brand new, high-tech, super cool iPhone, I'm an Android user, died halfway through recording our podcast.
The battery died. The phone didn't die.
Yes, Gen X, we know what died means.
Okay.
It is what it is. But
I spell out all my words in texts.
This one. Focus. Anyways, we're not going to scrap the episode because still plenty of great information was shared, and we're going to fill in with some pictures. We're going to fill in with some...
Yeah, we have audio on the whole rest of it.
Yeah, we caught audio. So we're going to continue from this point to play the audio that we caught, and we'll just,
We're just going to put pictures in.
So you can listen. There's still plenty of great information that's shared. And please listen
to the end because we have a foundation.
Yes.
We want you to hear about. It's
the best
very
information,
important.
The most important information was shared at the end. So please listen through to the end. Or
scroll to the end.
At least for the victim, if you hate us, scroll to the end and listen to the information we share and donate for the victim's charity cause.
Yes.
It's bare minimum.
We really would like for you to do that. Christmas giving is right around the corner.
Yes. So, here's a cool visual of my mom's beautiful Christmas tree. And
Clover.
The Clover pup. That's the Clover pup.
Yeah, my girl.
So, anyways, intermission's over. Back to the episode. The rest of the episode will be audio only. Still a great listen, though. Thanks for sticking with us while we work out these technical issues.
We're beginners. We're newbies.
Okay. Now, I also don't want to be given the benefit of the doubt because I'm a young woman. That's also not fair. Anybody who gets pulled over with rope, man, woman, young, old, anybody who gets pulled over with a fucking handsaw.
Okay, devil's advocate, but he had an open container of alcohol and beer on his breath.
Dude, road pop, we party. Like, okay.
That's illegal.
Do I know
I'm pretty sure in 93 that was illegal because my mom had already had 6 DUIs and lost her license and had to blow into a thing in order to drive her car with the party plates.
Okay, also, I was making a joke about road pops. It is not safe to drink and drive. Don't do that. I was being funny. But is that unheard of?
He's in a ditch. He's obviously driving impaired.
Yes. It would seem to me odd that if you're in a ditch, I wouldn't assume it's because you kidnapped a little girl who was screaming in the back and it distracted you. I would probably, as a regular officer in a nice neighborhood, assume you had a little too much and you zigged when you should have zagged and you ended up in the ditch. Now, did they breath? These are things I would want to know. Having rope, I'm going to have to say I would have let that go with no priors. They were on his tags and there's no priors on his name. That the rope would have meant nothing to me either. That's
and the funny thing,
probable cause.
he had a parole violation, but back then they didn't have that database. They only had driving records.
I would have wanted to know, did they do either, what's that called? There's breathalyzer, but what's it called?
The sobriety. Yeah,
did
no.
they do a field sobriety? Okay.
Not that I know of, no.
Or is it such a low crime area and he didn't really seem impaired that they were like, dude, just get home safe? I don't know. That's where police and our justice system and our way of life and our daily living, that's where things become such a slippery slope, because has there been a person that's probably had a drink and then drove home, had something happen, and thought, fuck, they're going to think I'm drunk, and I wasn't, but I know I smell like a drink because I had a beer with dinner, and thank God the cop was not a dick about it and just let me go home, and they never drink and drive, and that's not their MO. Like, it's one of those things where that cop in that situation probably beat himself up the rest of his life.
I'm sure he did.
Because...
And it's a shame. Because
what do? Do you accost every person
right.
who had a beer with dinner and has a handsaw on their passenger seat? I don't
Yeah,
know. It's just
yeah.
I'm totally being devil's advocate just to say like I think I'm not for the perp, but more for the cop. Like
No, I get it.
it's what do you do? How do you treat citizens?
You don't necessarily think of cloth strips as anything other than
No. And not to mention how many people me, if I got pulled over right now for a broken taillight and the cop saw this handsaw and saw me all sweaty and acting weird and he doesn't believe that I was just helping my brother move and he wants to detain me or something, how many people would be like, thank you for doing your job, officer. I understand that you just have the general public safety.
Yeah, none.
They'd be like, you fucking pig. You're fucking crushing my rights. People feel that that's
It'd be a
overstep
YouTube
of
video.
police state.
It'd be a YouTube video.
And where do you draw the line there? You know?
Yeah.
From either side, it looks justified to get pissed or to be totally reasonable. So I guess because I feel bad. That cop probably had
That's
to
nice
feel
of
like
you.
such a fucking
I'm sure.
miss.
Yes.
And
It's not his fault.
it is not easy to
Make those judgments.
make a judgment in those situations. But he fucked up.
He did.
Unfortunately. So anyways, we were to
So-
woman comes out and says, what the fuck am I gonna do? I'm calling the cops idiot, and the cops come and
They gave him a citation and allowed him to leave.
citation for reckless op, like
A mild citation, so probably reckless op
something like
because
that.
he was in the ditch.
Yeah. Failure to
Or
failure to control, maybe.
maybe
I think reckless op is not mild, but I think failure to control is. Herb got a failure to control for
I was going to say
sliding
trespassing
through a stop sign
because he was on private
because it was
property.
snow.
Oh,
And it's not like what.
Yeah.
It's like sorry. Like,
Yeah.
I was trying to control, but so I think that's
the car failed to respond.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, at the time, the police officer did not yet know that Polly had been kidnapped because he was on a different CB channel than what they were reporting on, and they didn't have databases. So, okay. There was a break in the case, thankfully. 2 months later, they're doing everything they can to drum up some sort of
New clues.
new clues. Yeah.
You know, up here. And it's the 90s. You know. What
So
can you do?
they get the idea to review traffic stops in the area around the time of the crime. So
That was smart.
they get to Davis's traffic stop and they decide to re-examine that area. And this time when they did a search, they located pieces of Polly's clothing and items linked to Davis's parole paperwork. So now they know who he is. They know he had violated his
He threw out
parole.
his parole paperwork with her clothes.
You'll see. I mean, we don't really know, but what we feel is there was a struggle there.
Okay.
And he had it on him. It was in the car. Maybe it stuck to something on his shoe. It was totally an accident, but
Well, maybe good thing.
there was obviously a struggle.
There was obviously no question of Polly's clothes and your parole paperwork don't end up in the same place for no reason, which is kind of a good thing, but not a good thing.
Kind of. So that allowed them to connect Davis directly to the night of the kidnapping, and it placed him at the location shortly after the abduction. Then what they did was put him in a lineup.
The girls got him.
The girls ID'd him, no problem. Even it's 2 months after, they had no problem. And he didn't have all of his beard. He just had a mustache by this time. He had shaved the beard off.
But they could tell.
They could tell. And also, that drawing and their description was so right on.
Spot on.
Yes. Wait till you see the pictures of it. It's like they really did a good job. But the police were
And
like,
so did the artists. How did they do that, by the way?
I
can draw
know.
something if I'm looking at it. I don't
They're
think
just very gifted.
yeah, that takes a fucking talent. And thank God for those people, right?
Yeah, they're gifted. That's
Yeah.
what I feel. So on November 30th, 1993, they arrested Davis at his home, which was in Sonoma County. And they arrested him at the time for just violating parole. They just wanted to get him in custody.
Right.
Before
And then
he could
try to-
flee.
Try to break them. Yeah.
Yeah. So while in custody, he gave very inconsistent statements. And he absolutely refused to say anything about Polly, even when they said, these girls have identified you. You know, he refused to say anything. So he was just zipped up, you know.
Again, that shows a kind of that shows a kind of smarts. It shows,
He's
kind of intelligence about how the system works.
exactly, and he does have intelligence. Wait till you hear. Oh my gosh, it's coming up.
I can't wait to hear how intelligent he was.
So basically, they took his palm print, and
We got you now, fucker.
4 days after they arrested him, the crime unit came back and said it's a match. So now they have him in Polly's bedroom because they got the palm print on the rail of her bed. So now they have that, they can put him away.
Yeah.
But what they want to know is, where the hell is Polly?
Yeah. Yes.
So they again approach him and say, we got this on you. So he says, he confesses to abducting her and then, yes, killing Polly. He will not and never did confess to any SA, but everybody believes, because of his record, which we're going to go over, that there definitely was. So basically, they'd spent all day questioning him. He took them to the scene of the ditch, and he had this big, long story about what happened, and it just made him look like an angel, as much as a kidnapper can look like an angel, I guess. But, he's trying to paint himself in a good light.
Yeah.
So he says, yeah, when I was there, what I had done was I was drunk and I was high. I was walking around the neighborhood, and I was trying to find my mother's house. I'd taken the day to go visit her, and she lived in Petaluma. And I couldn't find her house. So I was just walking around, and I was driving around, and I was lost. And a guy came and offered me a joint. So I bought it and smoked it, and I was out of it. And I remember going to Polly's house, and I don't remember anything else. The next thing you know, when I come to, she's in my car. And now I've got this kid in my car, and I was thinking, I need to get her out of my car. I don't know what I did, but he said, I'm driving in what I think is a random back road, and it turns out to be somebody's driveway, but I got stuck. And he said, basically, I had taken her back in the woods and just put her there, and figured somebody would come along and find her, or she would go find help.
So he said,
he said,
you understand, he thinks and I don't believe, he might have been high and drunk, but I don't think that you're that out of it. But he thinks, in his infinite wisdom, that he found an old dirt road to some woods, and he turns down it, and he thinks he's got the place to himself, and he finds out it's a driveway to someone's fucking home. And he's like, oh shit, this isn't secluded like I thought, and he tries to get out of there.
Well, he took her there to let her out of the car.
Is what he said.
And then he had let her off in the woods, and then he had walked back to the car, and he was stuck in the mud. And so now he needs to get out of there because there's people coming down the driveway. And he doesn't want to be traced to her.
Of course.
So first the friend comes, then the owner comes, then the police come, and he's allowed to leave. He said he drives a little bit away and waits about 15 minutes for everybody to clear the area. He said then he goes back and he realizes he have to get her now, because if they find her, they can tie her to him. So now he says, I had to go back and get her. And he takes her, where was it? An abandoned field of an abandoned lumber mill. And he hides her. He killed her. It was, okay. She was hidden under some boards in this field. It was an abandoned lumber mill. So,
do you believe that story to begin with? That she
was
in
no.
the woods with the cop flashing lights and people outside, or do you think she was in the trunk the whole time?
I have a totally different theory, but okay. Yeah, did I already say what the autopsy found?
No.
She died the night of her abduction.
Okay.
And she was badly decomposed. They couldn't confirm an SA.
Right.
But the prosecutors thought yes, due to his criminal history, and she had been manually strangled. So we know what happened. He's just saying Well, by that point, I didn't want to, but I had to because I
He's
didn't
just
want
saying
her.
whatever the fuck he wants. Yeah.
Yep. He's just a total scumbag. Okay. Let's talk about him. Richard Allen Davis. Early life and criminal history. Born in 1954, and his entire life was marked by instability and chronic criminal conduct. So it's not only just a failing of them, pulling him over finding him in the ditch that
They
day.
just didn't have the technology back then
He was a career criminal.
but systems weren't tied together yet necessarily, and it wasn't the click of a button to find a whole state's record, let alone a countrywide record, and
Yeah, no.
It was harder back then to it took time to piece those things together.
It definitely did. Well, okay. So let's talk about what he was arrested for. 1970s, first arrests.
Plural.
Burglary, petty theft, possession of stolen property. And he spent time in and out of juvenile detention. So it started in his teens.
Yeah.
1973, armed burglary. Convicted of armed burglary, sentenced to state prison for several years. 1970s, in the late 1970s. This is the escalation to violence.
Okay.
Now he committed assault and robbery, and by this time, repeated parole violations. So not only does he just do whatever the hell he wants, he gets out of jail and does whatever the hell he wants.
So it's not a correctional facility or rehabilitation. He just went to a prison and learned to be more violent and better at it.
Yep.
And went back out.
And did whatever he wanted. He wasn't afraid to go back to prison, obviously. He wasn't good at not getting caught.
It wasn't a consequence to him.
He showed signs, according to authorities, of escalating hostility and psychological instability. In 1978. So this is like 88. I mean, it's like 15 years before Polly.
Yeah.
He was arrested and convicted for kidnapping and assault with intent to commit rape and robbery. 15 years before Polly. So talk about escalating. And we know what that means,
Yeah. Yes.
So he abducted a woman at knife point. He drove her into the countryside. What's this sounding like? He assaulted and choked her. Where do you think that was going? And then
But it was a woman. Does it say an age?
it doesn't say an age.
But she managed to overpower him.
She managed to escape, and she
he
was able
said,
to flag down help.
Next time, I'll get someone smaller. Because pussy ass bitch.
That's what I think. That's exactly what I think.
A man can overpower a 12-year-old. Congratulations. Like,
Yeah, he wasn't wandering aimlessly in some community
no, fuck all that.
with bags of rope and bindings. Anyways,
I mean, I drive around with
guess how much he got for that?
car, but
I mean, I think it was attempted murder. He received 16 years, and he served only about half due to parole policies of the time. So now we're talking early to mid 80s, ongoing imprisonment. While still incarcerated, so in prison, he is accumulating disciplinary write-ups. So he's not behaving. He doesn't care about good behavior.
Time off for good behavior. He's just
He's participated in violent incidents inside the prison. Yes.
Yeah.
It was repeatedly described as manipulative and aggressive in the prison. So 84 to 86, released early on parole, reoffended within months, returned to prison after violating parole conditions, and the cycle repeated, it says, multiple times. So now we're talking about 1990. This is just 3 years before he kidnapped Polly and murdered her. He's on parole again. After another release, Davis committed a burglary in Sonoma County. He stole property from a home.
Which is the same county, not the same city.
Right.
So close by. Okay.
and he was caught and sent back to prison. So his sentence was he received a 4-year term for burglary, which is a non-violent felony. And then in June, so not 4 years, but in June of 93, he was released on parole.
And 3 months later,
Yep,
October.
October. He was released under California's then lenient parole policies, it says. And he had all this stuff against him. So it was 4 months after his parole that he escalated to kidnapping, probable SA, and murder.
July, August.
So, the trial. The trial began in 96. It was 2 years after his arrest. And again, major media attention for the trial and heightened security due to people surrounding the courthouse protesting, and the Klaas family had to attend nearly every session and go through all of that. The evidence that was presented against him was, I already told you what he said happened.
Yeah,
and
his bullshit. Right,
yeah.
got it. What
They
did the prosecution say?
They used the forensic evidence linking him to the crime scene. Oh, the strips. That was what was cool. They did this. They were able to match the strips that he had like a puzzle, putting all the pieces together with the strips that he had, then with the strips that the girls had been bound with. So it fit together like a puzzle. And then they had the palm print. So there you go. You're done for.
Cooked.
Pretty much. The witness testimony from Polly's two friends. They've got him, pegged in a lineup. And then...
Yeah, he was so worried he had to go back into the woods because now they were in a tie. The fucking girls in the bedroom saw you, idiot.
I know. And this is what I think happened when he said...
When you said he's intelligent, isn't it always that they think they're so intelligent?
Oh, yeah,
but
he's not
actually,
intelligent at all.
They're so fucking stupid.
Did I say he was intelligent?
You did.
When?
In this podcast,
No.
rewind the tape. Bitch, yes, you did.
There's no way. I said the investigators were intelligent.
No, I don't think that's what you said.
I can't imagine calling this guy intelligent.
Well, we're going to play it back.
We'll
and
find out.
I want you to edit it in a way. I wish I was editing this video now because I would go, oh, look. Oh, no, he was intelligent. I'm going to tell you.
I will look for it. He was not intelligent. Okay, I went back and looked, and I found where I told my daughter that he was intelligent. Here's the clip.
That shows a kind of a smarts.
He's
kind of intelligent about how the system works.
Exactly, and he does have intelligence. Wait till you hear. Oh my gosh!
I swear.
I said he was dumb luck.
You
I said he had dumb luck.
Dumb luck. But then, because we were talking about, I was like, it was really smart of him to play this ruse out. And you were like, oh, he's intelligent. I'm going to tell you how. And I didn't pick up on sarcasm when you said it. I thought he had some, really smart plan. And nothing has sounded smart thus far.
Oh, what the heck did I mean that I was going to tell you how?
Menopause is a hell of a...
I'm telling you.
thing.
I've got such brain fog. Well...
I don't know. It's possible I missed.
I think I was being sarcastic.
You might have been, and I didn't pick up on it.
I think that's maybe what I was.
Meant to say oh wait, to find out how.
I'm going to tell you how intelligent he is. Yeah, I think that's what I meant.
That probably is.
Because he's a big dummy.
Everything
he gets caught by the police in the ditch. Dumb. I mean,
this bitch in a ditch.
He leaves his parole stuff. Okay.
He leaves a paper with his fucking name on it at the crime scene.
Here's what I think happened. He pulled off to the first ditch he could find down an old country road because that's his MO.
Right.
He's already gotten arrested for that.
He was on an old country road.
That's what he thought.
To do what he wanted to do.
I think he got out of the car. I think he SA'd her. I think there was a big struggle. That's why parts of her clothing were there. And I think that's why parts of his parole paper were there. Maybe he had it in his pocket. I don't know. But maybe she had it in her hand. Maybe it was in the car and she had a hold of it because she was smart.
Right.
You don't know, but...
He tossed it on the floor in the passenger seat. It came out in a scuffle.
It could have been anything.
Word? Did I just
Scuffle is a word.
Okay. It sounded weird when I said it. You ever say a word that sounds weird? Anyway.
Yes.
A scuffle happened.
Sometimes words like this, I'm just like, what does that mean?
Roads. Anyways, yes, I get it.
So I think he murdered her
Our
there.
kerfluffle happened.
I think he murdered her there.
Okay.
And then he went and got back in his car and realized he was stuck in a ditch.
Because unfortunately...
And that's why he needed to get out of there. And he was trying to get that
right.
woman to help him
There
out.
wouldn't have been blood if it was... yeah, I'm not trying to be gross, but there would have been no necessarily scene of a crime if it was manual strangulation. So he thought he was done.
Then he realizes, oh, shoot, there's people.
And now cops had to be called.
And cops are called. And he's just trying to get out of there.
And then he thought, and then maybe he did think.
He waited 15 minutes.
Because...
And now he has to go back and get the body. And he takes it to another place. That's what I think happened.
Oh. I think you're right. That makes sense. At first, I thought the whole going back...
He was never going to let her go.
But you know what? I think you're right. Once he realized... He thought he was alone. Once he realized he wasn't...
Now they've got his name.
He was like, fuck, this isn't a good spot. This isn't the dumping ground.
They're going to find her because they live here.
Yeah.
And then I'm obviously going to be the suspect.
Immediate suspect.
Yeah, he was just covering his ass because that's the kind of asshole he is. All right.
That is the kind of asshole he is. Ugh.
On June 18th of 96, he was found guilty of first-degree murder, guilty of kidnapping, and guilty of burglary. I didn't write it down, but they also had charged him with some weird thing. Not SA, but like tampering with a minor's body. Something weird.
No, that just... Because he admitted to going back and moving her, and they must have said...
Well, he wasn't convicted of that. It had something to do with SA of a minor, but it wasn't SA. They didn't have proof of that.
Oh, I thought maybe you meant tampering with a corpse. Like moving her...
Maybe it was. But they didn't have proof of it, so they didn't find him guilty of it.
I was going to say.
They did find him guilty of burglary, kidnapping, and murder. First degree.
His story was, she was alive when I moved
So they
her.
probably had the same idea as me.
And they were thinking, no, she wasn't alive when you moved her. You were tampering with a corpse.
That's exactly what it
And
was.
maybe when you read tampering with a corpse, you were like, oh my God. He did what?
Thank God for the levity. Because this case is horrible. And I hate this man.
And it wasn't necrophilia. It was just moving a body.
Okay. So this is the worst part of everything, but typically this guy, like perfectly this guy. As he was escorted out after the reading of the verdict and the sentencing, he made an obscene gesture and directed comments at Polly's father. So the obscene gesture was the bird with both fingers, with right and left hand. He flipped him the bird and made comments to him, to the father.
Cut his fucking hands off.
Yeah.
Is he still alive?
We'll get to that.
I'll go to California and cut his fucking hands off for the father, on the father's behalf. Are you kidding me?
Let me see. Is he still alive? I've done so many. I can't remember. I've done so many.
Even when they're all scumbags, they use most of them, like at least most of them, just walk out of court. To fucking
he is still alive.
Do something so disrespectful to the victim's family.
I know. It just shows. It says it totally cemented their perception, the public's perception of his lack of remorse. He'll never.
Every parole hearing ever, if there was even eligibility, we just played that and then nope, denied.
The jury recommended the death penalty and the judge agreed.
But he's not dead yet?
No, and here's why.
96
here's why.
Hearing?
Here's why. He's in San Quentin State Prison, and there's no set date of executing him due to California's moratorium on executions. So I did not look up moratorium. I figured you would be able to tell us what that means.
Mom says, I can pronounce moratorium, but I don't know what the fuck that is.
I've heard it before because of the movie The Life of David Gale.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I don't exactly know what that means either because I studied a general outline of all types
She's a
of law.
paralegal.
I didn't necessarily, even though I'd love to work crim, I didn't necessarily study just crim, and we gloss over things. It's more. I unfortunately didn't learn everything there is to know, and there's so much to know. And oftentimes, what they tell you is even when you take the bar, until you pass and you pick a sector to work in, that's when you're going to start learning. So
I see. Wow.
let's use some context clues, and then you all can actually Google what moratorium means, and then tell us, and you can explain to us how we're stupid, and we will appreciate it and not take offense at all. My guess is, if you said, read what you said, there's no moratorium on.
There's no set date of executing him due to California's moratorium on executions.
There's no set date of execution.
Because of
Due to the
California's
fact that
moratorium.
California does not have a moratorium. So maybe moratorium means a
Can't you just Google it on
an
your phone?
Well, hold on. I want to guess before I Google it.
Oh, using your forehead brain.
Yeah, I have all of this frontal lobe. An ethical timeline that someone has before. No. Moratorium might mean, okay, ethical timeline was right. Ethical timeline to file, if you want to do any appeals or anything like that, obviously you can't just be like, you're going to be, the death penalty is applied and you die tomorrow. Because you have to give time for appeals and things like that.
Oh.
And so maybe moratorium means after which all appeals or anything that you could do to try to reverse the case if at all possible.
That makes sense because of the next statement says, in May of 2024, so just last year, a judge denied his petition to overturn his death sentence.
Fuck you, dick. Moratorium. Hey, I spelled it right too. Moratorium definition. A temporary prohibition of an activity. An indefinite moratorium on the use of drift nets. That's drift nets. Now we're talking about fishing. An indefinite temporary prohibition of an activity. So that would mean a forever.
So they're not doing death sentences anymore.
Read your original sentence.
So they probably he was on death row, but then he had to do that timeline of being able to appeal.
Okay. Read the sentence you read to me before. California, due to California's.
There's no set date of executing him due to California's moratorium on executions. They must have changed the law, and they're not executing anymore.
You're right.
So he's on death row, but they're not.
California, a death penalty state. Capital punishment is legal penalty in the U.S. state of California. However, the penalty has not been carried out in that since 2006 due to a standing federal court ordered issue that year against the practice and a 2019 moratorium on executions ordered by Newsom. So they're not doing it anymore. So everybody on death row is just death row
on death row.
Die in prison.
Yeah, and he tried to get this judge to overturn it.
No, you can rot in prison, fucko.
See, he's dumb.
See?
I hate this guy. I just want him to rot.
I'll tell you, the whole thing, every part of it, just a little girl's life.
Wait till you see his picture. He looks mean. He looks like a werewolf.
I hate that. I'm Edward all the way, pro Edward Cullen. You won't get that reference, but they'll all know what I mean.
Okay.
Fuck Jacob.
Okay.
Go Edward.
I have no idea what that means.
She doesn't get it. She doesn't know what we know. I'll explain it later when we have time. But, anyways, senseless.
He's just evil. He is an evil.
I think it. Really,
I can't even call him a human being. He's an alien. He's an evil alien. He doesn't even deserve to be called an alien.
I think
he's a devil.
It just boils down to people's ability to turn their wants into needs, and people's ability to put their wants that they've turned into needs ahead of everything and everyone else. And when you can do that, something in your brain is broken.
Psychopathic.
Yeah.
Just completely.
Gross. Ugh. Well,
Do you want to hear some good stuff?
please.
I'd like to end it on a good note. The 3 strikes law was created because of this. So the 3 strikes and you're out sentencing law. Do you know what that is?
I can guess.
It's the legislation mandated life sentences for offenders convicted of a 3rd felony. So 1 felony, you get your sentence. 2nd felony, get your sentence out on parole. 3rd
strikes,
felony.
You're obviously not fucking rehabilitated. You're not learning a thing, so just fuck off.
So her murder played a central role in the public support of California's new 3 strikes and you're out law.
Isn't that what a like?
And it was partially
What
due
a
to
bittersweet thing. What a. It's just dumb that it has to come to that at all, but
it's something that a silver lining.
a silver lining. No, you're right. We always look
For the
silver
parents, for the
linings.
people
Yeah.
that loved her,
Yeah.
can say, well, because of her, some good things happened because of her.
Yeah.
And her dad became this outspoken advocate for stricter sentencing and child protection laws. And then the technical improvements were what her case directly influenced was National Missing Children Protocols.
NPCP. Okay, it's not an acronym. Okay, I just wondered if it was something that we were like, oh, you mean NPCP? Yeah. It's not.
Amber Alert systems,
Okay.
search and rescue coordination, and databases that allow police to instantly access felon histories. So that's huge. That was a huge change in how everything is done.
I'm going to take a side quest to say that it's always because of a little white kid. Because if this had been a black kid, this wouldn't have happened.
Ooh, you're going there. You're going there.
I'm going to go there. Now,
I
that
can't
being
say
said-
I can't say you're not right.
that being said, thank God. I got this.
Because
Not that she was assaulted, but the better things were put in place, is what I was saying. The better steps better measures were put in place. Thank God that.
because it was a white child.
But do you think
If at that time,
do you think that a brown child would have gotten national coverage?
not at that
I
time.
don't think so.
Not at that time.
Nope.
No. And that's really not to say the whole world was like that, but a majority of people didn't care.
That's a whole nother episode.
It sure is.
But yeah, that's why I asked about race to begin with. When you said that it got national media coverage, I could have said she was a little white girl, wasn't she?
I see. Yep.
And her life mattered. Her life mattered so much, and so do
Everybody's
so
life
does
matters.
Every child. So does
Yeah.
every child's life, regardless of their color, their creed, their race. And their
Yeah, we are not racist.
affiliation.
I have brown people in my family. It's,
We've talked about Jehovah's Witness on another podcast. We had Jehovah's Witness in our family. We've got Christians, Catholics. I have Jewish friends.
we are what we're trying to say is, those signs that have all the signs, they say peace, coexist.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're that.
My point in saying that is that I wish, especially back then, retroactively, but still kind of present, that every missing child was taken seriously.
Yeah.
Every case was put on the front burner, regardless.
And times have changed. I think they've gotten better.
It's better. I agree. I do think that it's better. I think we're on the,
A
on the
trend.
incline, but
Yeah.
it's been that's been slow.
Unfortunately. And
Um,
in more than one way. All right, let's talk about the Claas Foundation. So that was established in 1993. So this was established before his conviction.
Okay.
It is based in Petaluma, California, nonprofit organization, and the mission centers on child safety, the recovery of missing children, public policy, legislative efforts to protect children in communities. what they do and how it works is response and recovery support. They run 24/7 hotlines and a rapid response team.
Oh, wow.
National. It's national. It's not just Petaluma, California.
Oh, wow. Okay. It's based out of Petaluma, but they operate nationally.
Yes.
Okay.
They do flyer and media distribution. Prevention and education. They actually travel and talk to schools about prevention and education on child safety educational resources. They have what's called a child safety kit. Have you ever heard of that? It's for parents and caregivers. It's designed to teach safety without inducing fear. So it'd be like how you could tell Lindsay not to go over to the scary thing.
How I can tell my kids about stranger danger without making them cry. Which
Yes.
successfully happened with all 3 of my children. Each time that I tried to have a just general talk about stranger danger, they ended up crying. And I was like,
It's hard.
I did too much.
Well, this is a kit that they provide for parents and caregivers to teach this without scaring them.
Could have used that.
And then they do legislative and policy advocacy. So if your laws in your area are not effective, they help do
They know the steps to take to get it seen and
yes,
advanced. Okay.
like the Amber Alert.
Right.
Okay, so according to the foundation, currently they have helped over 10,000 families
Oh, wow.
in search of missing children. And this child safety kit is widely distributed every year. And let's see. They request how they operate. In other words, how you can support them. It is a nonprofit. They take donations. And I conveniently have their email address is polyclass.org.
We'll put that in the description.
POLLYKLAAS for our podcasters that aren't on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll put a
.org.
link to that in the description so that you can check it out and,
And
donate if you're able.
Yeah, if you scroll down a little bit, they have boxes that you could just hit that say like 25, 50, 100, all the way up to 500. And if you want to give more or less than that, you can hit the other.
Yeah. I could give 5 right now. That's within me. That's within my budget.
I will give 5.
Why don't we pledge to give to this?
I will. I will
If
give
you're
more than
able
5.
if you're able to, let us know in the comments if you're able to give.
Yeah,
What
if
a
you
great
donate,
thing.
type that in the comment. Let us know. Good on you. There are also volunteer opportunities. You can help with flyer distribution in your area, case support, and the educational outreach. And then there's partnership, and they partner with law enforcement agencies, schools, nonprofits, and legislation offices. So why it matters, the foundation stands as a legacy of Polly's case. And it is a huge tool because of its 24/7 availability, the national scope, everything that they do. It's like an all-in-one, one-stop.
I can't believe this country is so small but so big. I can't believe I've never heard of this before.
I know. Yeah.
And
We need to get that out there.
yeah, yes.
So it's an all-in-one tool for finding missing children. But that's all I have.
Wow. What a case, Mom.
What a case.
A lot of good things came from such a tragedy, and that is a silver lining.
Definitely.
true.
Definitely.
And I mean it. I'm gonna give. It's just before Christmas, but who doesn't have $5? Come the fuck on, right?
I agree. If we all gave $5, you don't have to give 25. If everybody just gave $1, you know,
If we got 100 listeners and 100 listeners gave $5, that's $500.
excellent. That would be
So,
amazing.
One less coffee a week. We can do it.
That's true.
So yeah, let's help.
Okay, I
And
pledge.
mem-
Pinky promise.
Memory to Polly, right?
In memory to Polly.
Cheers to her life and her legacy and her family. I hope they're doing well.
That was beautiful.
Thank you guys for listening, and
Thank you for hanging out this long.
Yes, absolutely. Don't forget to, of course, like and subscribe. All right, see you guys next time.
Thank you. See you next time.